In the vast and intriguing universe of Harry Potter, magic is the essence that permeates every aspect of wizarding lives. However, even in a world where spells and incantations seem to have no limits, there are rules and restrictions that shape magical practice. What many don't realize is that, behind every waving wand, there are insurmountable barriers that define what wizards can and cannot do. But how far do these limitations extend? This is the question that invites us to explore the depths of the laws and restrictions of magic that govern this enchanting universe. In this video, we'll delve into the most surprising and intriguing limitations of magic in Harry Potter, revealing truths that often go unnoticed. We will discuss everything from the complexities of transfiguration to the ethical dilemmas of unforgivable spells. Embark with us on this fascinating journey as we uncover what is truly possible and what is beyond the reach of wizards. Prepare to discover the rules that, even in a world of sorcery, impose limits on magic. If you want to understand the limits that make this universe even more fascinating, stay until the end. Transfiguration is one of the most fascinating magical abilities in the Harry Potter universe, allowing wizards and witches to transform objects and living beings into other forms. At first glance, this ability seems limited. After all, with a simple spell, a cup can become a mouse, and a feather can transform into a wine glass. However, this magic has very specific rules and barriers that limit its application. Firstly, the nature and complexity of the object will be transfigured, directly influencing the difficulty of the spell. Inanimate objects are generally simpler to manipulate than living beings. Transformations of living beings, such as transforming a human into an animal or vice versa, are extremely complex and disable advanced technical skills. These more difficult transfigurations are not only a challenge for the wizard, but they also carry significant risk, as any mistake can result in unstable and dangerous transformations. A classic example is the use of metamorph magic, a rare ability that allows the wizard to modify parts of his own body, such as his hair and the shape of his face. Tonks, an aura and born metamorphmagus, can change her appearance without the use of complex spells. However, even this impressive ability has its limits. Although Tonks can change her superficial appearance, she cannot completely transform into another person or significantly alter her physical structure. It is worth mentioning that permanent transformations are almost impossible to carry out without serious consequences. Transforming an inanimate object into a living one or a living being into an inanimate one is considered a transgression of natural laws and has potentially irreversible consequences. More experienced wizards, like Professor McGonagall, understand the importance of these restrictions and are extremely careful when teaching transfiguration at Hogwarts. They make it clear that these limitations are a safety measure to prevent the magic from becoming unstable. The transfiguration, then, reveals itself as a clear example of the laws that govern the responsible use of magic. Even though the ability to transform objects and beings seems magical and unlimited, there are boundaries that the practice cannot overcome, and which protect both the wizard and the world around him. As we continue our exploration, we will come across another crucial aspect of magic: death and the emotional consequences it imposes. Death is one of the darkest and most complex themes in the Harry Potter universe. While magic offers countless possibilities, it can in no way reverse the inevitable, death. This concept is deeply rooted in the magical laws that govern the wizarding world, establishing a clear boundary that even the most powerful wizards cannot cross. In Harry Potter, the idea that death is an insurmountable line is exemplified by the Deathly Hallows, especially the Resurrection Stone. Although this stone has the power to bring back those who have departed, the characters who return are not truly alive. They exist in a form of limbo, echoing their voices and memories, but without the vitality and fullness of life. This leads us to a deep reflection. True resurrection is an impossibility, no matter how powerful the magic is. The impossibility of resurrecting the dead is an important lesson for wizards and a central message of the series. Each death leaves a lasting impact, shaping the characters' choices and motivations. As we move forward, we will begin to explore another intriguing aspect of magic: the limitations placed on time control and the risks associated with using magical artifacts like the Time Turner. When Hermione Granger uses the Time Turner in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, she does so under supervision and with a clear purpose: to rescue Sirius Black and Buckbeak. However, Even under the best intentions, manipulating time can result in unforeseen consequences. The Ministry of Magic imposes strict restrictions on the use of artifacts that allow time travel, recognizing that even small errors can create paradox and temporal disasters. One of the biggest dangers of using Time Turner is the possibility of creating an alternate version of events, where a small error can have catastrophic repercussions. In the Harry Potter universe, the Time Turners were destroyed during the Battle of the Department of Mysteries in 1996. The destruction occurred when Death Eaters Antonin Dolohov and Jugsun hit the Time Room with the Impediment Hex. As a result, the characters lost the possibility of fixing the past. As we progress, we come across another aspect of magical restrictions: unforgivable spells and the ethical limits surrounding their use. These spells not only challenge the rules of magic, but also raise questions about morality and control. In the magical universe of Harry Potter, the unforgivable spells, Avada Kedavra, Cruciatus, and Imperius, are not just weapons of power, they represent boundaries that wizards must not cross. Although magic has almost limitless potential, performing these spells involves not only exceptional skill but also a violation of the ethical norms that govern the practice of witchcraft. The most notorious among these spells is Avada Kedavra, which causes instant death to a target. However, even the most powerful wizards face an insurmountable barrier when trying to master this spell. The inability to cast it in certain circumstances reveals an intrinsic limitation. The true intention behind the spell must be complete annihilation, something that many witches, by nature, cannot internalize. It is the lack of will to commit such an act that prevents the execution of this spell, reflecting a moral barrier. The Cruciatus, which inflicts extreme pain, also has significant limitations. To cast it, the wizard must be imbued with a deep desire to cause suffering, a line that most wizards dare not cross, limiting the effectiveness of this spell in hands that do not possess a genuinely cruel intention. The Ministry of Magic, by criminalizing these spells, recognizes that their practice not only threatens the safety of the magical community, but also the essence of magic itself. Thus, the limitations placed on the performance of unforgivable spells reflect the interconnection between power and morality. In the magical world of Harry Potter, skill and power are not evenly distributed among wizards. Each character brings with them a unique set of talents, limitations, and experiences that shape their magical practice. These variations not only influence the effectiveness of magic, but also highlight how dedication and training are crucial to the development of individual abilities. Each wizard's magical aptitude is determined by a combination of factors, including lineage, practice, and even personal connection to magic. For example, Dumbledore is often considered one of the most powerful wizards in history, largely due to his innate talent combined with decades of experience and study. In contrast, we have characters like Neville Longbottom, who face significant challenges on their magical journey. From the beginning, Neville is portrayed as a wizard who struggles to fit in, often unsure of his abilities. However, his story of overcoming is a testimony that, with effort and perseverance, he can not only overcome his limitations, but also reveal extraordinary potential. Furthermore, individual limitations are also reflected in the choices wizards make regarding magic. Some characters choose to follow more traditional paths, like Hermione, who dedicates herself to study and practice, while others, like Harry, often find themselves in situations that require improvisation. These differences in magical approaches demonstrate that the effectiveness of magic is not just a matter of power, but also of how each wizard decides to use their abilities. In the vast universe of magic, there are many facades that wizards can perform, but there is one restriction that stands out for its practical and ethical nature: the impossibility of materializing food. This limitation not only highlights the barriers of magic, but also reveals the complexities and consequences involved in manipulating elements fundamental to life. Magic in Harry Potter is often presented as a solution to everyday problems, but creating food through magic presents a task with complicated specifications. The series offers some clues about the difficulties faced when trying to materialize food. In Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Fred and George Weasley use the Fumum spell to create food out of thin air, but the quality and sustainability of this food are questionable. What they create is temporary and does not meet the real needs of a feast. These examples emphasize that, even with the use of magic, creating permanent, nutritious food is a task that defies the logic of magic.